Part 10. Who wants Africa to stay weak and how we overcome them? My name is Abebe Nagash. Welcome back. We have laid out the vision: a self-sustaining Africa, governed by technocrats, connected by smart cities, and free from foreign dependency. But let's be real, there are forces that do not want to see this happen. There are groups, both inside and outside Africa, that benefit from keeping the continent weak, divided, and dependent. Today, we expose them and discuss how to overcome their influence. First, the players who profit from Africa's weakness. 1. Foreign powers and their economic interests. The Western world, China, Russia, and even some Middle Eastern nations will have one thing in common when it comes to Africa. They see it as a resource base, not an equal partner. Cheap labor, cheap resources. Africa is rich in minerals, oil, and agricultural land. Keeping Africa unstable ensures these resources remain cheap and under foreign control. Debt trap, diplomacy. Institutions like the IMF and World Bank offer aid that keeps Africa in a cycle of debt, never allowing true financial independence. Export-dependent economies. Africa is kept in a model where it exports raw materials and imports finished products, ensuring foreign industries, not African ones, profit. They do not want Africa to industrialize. They want to keep it as a supplier, not a competitor. 2. Corrupt African leaders and their elites. Not all of Africa's problems come from the outside. Many African leaders are willing participants in the exploitation of their own people. They enrich themselves while keeping their nations poor. They accept foreign bribes and contracts that benefit outsiders more than their own people. They promote division, ethnic, religious, and regional conflict so they can stay in power. These leaders know that a well-informed, self-sufficient population would demand better governance and remove them from power. That's why they do everything possible to suppress innovation, education, and economic independence. 3. International NGOs and the aid industry. Many well-meaning people donate money to international charities, believing they are helping Africa. But here is the truth: aid is a business. NGOs create jobs for Westerners, not Africans. They keep Africa in permanent state of crisis to justify their existence. Instead of empowering Africans to build their own industries, they provide temporary relief, ensuring dependency continues. If Africa becomes self-sufficient, the billion-dollar aid industry would collapse. They do not want solutions. They want to maintain the status quo. How do we overcome these forces, you may ask? 1. Control our own resources. The first step is economic independence. Africa must nationalize key industries and prevent foreign control over resources. Develop its own refineries, factories, and processing plants, so raw materials are turned into finished goods locally. Create an African financial system that removes dependency on the dollar, euro, and yuan. Every barrel of oil, every diamond, every ton of coca or lithium must serve African development first, not foreign profit. dismantle corrupt leadership structures. Africa needs a new model of governance, one led by technocrats, not politicians. Remove power from corrupt governments by shifting control to city-based technocratic systems. Expose corruption through transparency and blockchain to track public funds in real time. Empower educated professionals, engineers, doctors, economists to take leadership roles instead of career politicians. A new governance system renders corrupt politicians obsolete because people will choose competent leadership over empty promises. Shut down foreign influences in our educational system is the key too. Most African universities follow Western designed curricula that teach students to serve foreign economies rather than build their own. Revamp education to focus on problem solving for Africa, not theories that benefit outsiders. Create research institutions that study African challenges, agriculture, energy, infrastructure, name it, not Western development models. Promote STEM, business, and governance training that prioritize African needs. We must educate for liberation, not for servitude. Number 4, build our own media and communication platforms. Foreign controlled media dictates Africa's global narrative. They choose the stories that shape how the world sees us and how we see ourselves. Establish African-owned media network that highlight African innovation, not just poverty and conflict. Use digital platforms and AI to spread information free from government or foreign censorship. Encourage independent African creators, journalists, and researchers to take control of the narrative. Africa must tell its own story. Period. No more waiting for others to define us. 5. Strengthen ultra-African trade and defense. No African nation can do this alone. The continent must work together. African nations must prioritize trade with each other instead of relying on Europe, China, or the US. A unified African defense system must be created, so security is in African hands, not dictated by foreign military bases. Smart cities and technocratic regions must form alliances sharing technology, energy, and expertise. A divided Africa is weak. A united Africa is unstoppable. Here is a turning point, a choice between dependency and power. Africa stands at a crossroads. One path leads to more of the same, for independency, corrupt governments, and wasted potential. The other path leads to self-sufficiency, strong governance, and continental unity. This is not just an idea, it is a plan. It's a plan, folks. It's a plan. Are you an African technocrat ready to lead this charge? Are you in the diaspora, waiting for the right moment to return and build? Are you an African youth tired of waiting for leaders to solve problems that they will never solve? The moment is now. Africa must stop begging and start building. In part 11, we go beyond theory. How do we launch this movement? What are the first steps to making this reality? Stay with us. The revolution is just beginning. Thank you.